Paul says, "Hi, Caleb. I'm reading through Revelation." Whew, heavy book. And in chapter 3, verse 5, Yeshua says to the church of Sardis, "The one who overcomes will be clothed the same way in white garments, and I will not erase his name from the book of life, and I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels." As a proponent of the doctrines of grace, how do we explain "I will not erase his name from the book of life" to those who would argue against this doctrine, as it seems to allude that you can lose your salvation? As a follow-up question, well, let's hold off on that, on the follow-up question. Okay, so first of all, this is a great question. The first thing I want to say is that this is a promise. It's a positive. It's not a negative. So I think that we need to resist the urge to make it a negative. In other words, what I mean by that is, I will not erase your name out of the book of life, which means that, and what people want to make this into is a negative, meaning that if somebody doesn't maintain until the end, he will erase their name out of the book of life. And the reason
like Yeshua's holding this over you.
Right, exactly. He doesn't say that
he's got the eraser right there. Yeah. He's watching you.
There's no mention of an eraser or anything like that. So that's number one. Number two, the reason I think that is because this is actually a cultural reference that people within the culture would have known. And so there's a meaning to this. Now, for this, we're going to go to the Expositor's Bible Commentary. And this is a full set published by Zondervan. Really good. There's a lot of really good stuff in here. Okay, this is on Revelation 3:5.2 at the bottom of page 449. Furthermore, the pure relationship to Christ is preeminently guaranteed. I will never erase his name from the book of life. In ancient cities, the name of citizens were recorded in a register till their death. Then their names were erased and marked out of the book of the living. This same idea appears in the Old Testament, Exodus 32 through 33. So I think that actually is going to be a response to Paul's follow-up question on that. So yes, there is a parallel here. From the idea of, and other passages as well, from the idea of being recorded in God's book of the living or the righteous comes the sense of belonging to God's eternal kingdom or possessing eternal life. And there are many references given. For Christ to say that he will never blot out or erase the overcomer's name from the book of life is the strongest affirmation that death can never separate us from Christ and his life. A person enrolled in the book of life by faith remains in it by faithfulness and can be erased only by disloyalty. There is some evidence that a person's name could be removed from the city register before death if he were convicted of a crime. In the first century, Christians who were loyal to Christ were under constant threat of being branded political and social rebels and then stripped of their citizenship. But Christ offers them an eternal, safe citizenship in his everlasting kingdom if they only remain loyal to him. I see this as a promise that you're in. It's not like those who are true covenant members will endure to the end, and those who endure to the end are in the book of life. In other words, it's another declaration that you are a citizen. And Paul talks about this all the time. In Colossians, I just got done with Colossians, so he talks about this idea of inclusion. Colossians and Philemon, he continually goes into the idea that the Gentiles are in. They are, he uses it in Galatians, heirs according to promise, right? They are part of the family. And so in the Revelation 3:5 passage, the way I see it, it's not a threat that I'm going to take you out of the book of life if you don't do what I say. What it is a reaffirmation that you're one of the citizens. You're in my book, which means you can't be taken out. Death doesn't separate you. That's how I see this passage. Rob?
Yeah, a parallel that I like is from Luke 10. Maybe people are already thinking of it, is where Yeshua appoints the 70, sends them out, and they have, they're rejoicing because they have power, right? He's given them authority over the demons. Even.
Right.
And Yeshua says, and this is Luke 10, 19, behold, I've given you authority to tread on serpents, scorpions, over all the power of the enemy. Nothing will injure you. Nevertheless, do not rejoice in this, that the spirits are subject to you, but rejoice that your names are recorded in heaven. So the point is that that he's telling them that you are recorded in heaven,
Right. Already.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.